Hi, Apan.
Hi.
Hi. Just another 2 minutes and then we'll start. So, okay, we'll start a little early because we see there are a lot of people on different streaming channels. They're already waiting for us. So looks like we have a quorum now to start. So I hope everyone is able to hear my voice. Ankit, just a mic check. Are you able to hear my voice? Ankit?
Hear your
Hello.
voice.
Yeah, cool, man. I can also hear your voice clear. Okay, so let's start. So hello everybody. This is our one of the most awaited session on Alibaba Cloud. It's not just Alibaba Cloud, it's on multi-cloud, the way me and Ankit will try to explain about uh, the intricacies of database system on the cloud, how they actually handle a huge amount of load, and how they are being structured and designed to handle those loads when it comes, and how that's actually connects with extreme elasticity, which we talk about cloud, and which is the core feature of a cloud platform. The cloud platform must have the quality of being extremely elastic. So this session is learning about how Alibaba handle 87 million requests per second in a live event, and obviously when you know about it, we know about how the database system are so robust and how they handle such requests, how the architecture and solution architecture is behind them to handle that out, and also Ankit would be explaining on how different cloud platform can be thought of, can be understood almost in a similar way or similar work. Obviously, every cloud platform has a different architecture, little different architecture, but the base concept are almost similar to an extent. Obviously, everyone has their own USP, so that was the reason that Alibaba handled this 87 million requests per second in a live event. So this session is on Alibaba Cloud, database and elasticity. It's all on cloud platform. This mean for experienced architects, solution architect, and also mean for the people who have recently joined and tried understanding cloud, and that will definitely help you. If you are not able to understand, you can ping us anytime, me or Ankit, on LinkedIn and our different channels which are there. So here I'm introducing Ankit. He's Ankit Kapoor. He is a solution architect in Alibaba Cloud, and Alibaba Cloud, to know about, is worldwide cloud service partner for Olympics. He has many years of direct database and migration experience to the top cloud companies AWS and Alibaba Cloud. He has past worked with AWS also as a database expert. He's a database geek and a global speaker. He has spoken into multiple forums, multiple platform, specifically on the intricacy and the structure of database. This is his Bitly LinkedIn profile. You can take a picture, can connect to him, or obviously this will come up in our recording. I am Anjani Kumar. I am inventor, leader, mentor, enabler, founder, and MVP for Multicloud for you. I have years of direct service to the IT industry, and I am ex-Microsoft, and multiple companies. I have added 5 years of entrepreneurship experience. This is my LinkedIn profile, and this is my Alibaba Cloud MVP tag that you can scan and connect with me anytime if you need to know more in detail about any of the platforms which Alibaba serves. So coming on to the agenda and content, I would try to give back the mic to Ankit to continue from here. So Ankit, please, I'm opening up this mic.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Anjani. First of all, I would like to share my screen with you guys. Then I will go ahead. Hi, guys. Thank you, Anjani, once again for the introduction part. And I thank you, all of you guys who have joined today's session, and you have find the time to join this session, and I really appreciate this. And I hope you all are safe in this period. And today, I'm going to provide a session on the 11.11 technology, what it is and how we do it. So before going that, I saw that already Anjani has explained my introduction. So in Alibaba, I am leading complete India database product.
Hi everyone.
So I'm a solution architect here, and from the RDS to the NoSQL and to the other databases, I'm completely leading it. I think there's some background noise here. Okay, so yeah, so prior to Alibaba, I was working with AWS. So I was responsible for global customers, which includes the RDS mainly for the MySQL and for the MariaDB. So this is my introduction up till now. And before that, I have worked across the globe for the various migrations and for the various e-commerce industries, various telecommunication industries. So that's my overall experience up till now. And I'm a pure database geek. So for any query regarding the open source databases, you are always free to message me, and I will feel very happy to answer you. This is my LinkedIn. And so quickly going on to today's agenda and topic. So today I will give you an introduction, and then I will go with the understanding database technology behind 11.11. Then I will go for the APSARA DB. Then I will go for the cross GeoDB architecture, like what is the architecture we follow. Then it's about RDS MySQL and the PolarDB MySQL. Like what is the architecture we follow in the RDS MySQL, maybe for the high availabilities, maybe for the splitting of the read traffics. And then also, apart from this, we will discuss the backup solutions that we follow in the 11.11 festival. And then PolarDB. What is the PolarDB? I will definitely tell. Then I will give you the core database products and services, and then just analyst reports for the Gartners. And then I will be happy to answer your queries if you have something. So going further, so I want to tell you what is 11.11 festival. So first of all, as you I don't know how much you're aware. So for anyone who is not familiar with 11.11, so please allow me to a very quick introduction. So in Southeast Asia, there are two biggest online shopping platforms. One is called Taobao.com and another is Tmall.com. Taobao.com is C2C mode and Tmall.com is B2C. So they both belongs to Alibaba Group. Starting from year 2009, I can say we means Alibaba initiated one market event on November 11th for selling goods. So you can compare it like a shopping festival. So which Amazon do, or which the Cyber Monday do. And on this November 11 for selling goods with very good discounts in just one day. So it turned out this very successful marketing event, and customers likes it. So we hold this shopping festival year by year now, and now you are looking at the numbers of this shopping festival. So I highlighted the colors. So if you see in the red colors, so the number of orders which we have mentioned is 544K per second. And these are the number of orders, that is 1.292 billion orders. But the most interesting part, because we are from the database background, you can see that a PolarDB, which is our own proprietary product, our own self-developed product by Alibaba, you can say we have handled 87 million requests per second. So you can imagine like what is the amount of requests that OLTP database is handling. And then this is the total GMV. So this is the total revenue which we have generated in 2019, that is last year. So you can see it's $38.38 billion. So that's a huge amount. So if you go with this one, this is a kind of an idea. You can also check over the CNBC websites, which gives you all these stats. So if you compare with the other shopping festivals, so if you see, this is Alibaba Singles Day. If you compare the last year, it's $38.38 billion. So if you compare with other shopping festivals, it is far ahead than this. So this is the overall years. You can say the revenue in 2017, then 2018 and 19. It has been kept on increasing every year. So if you see, apart from this, Alibaba um, handles in the digital media and entertainments, e-commerce, and the local services. So like we have Amazon Prime, they have also these things in the digital media part. Then we have UC web browsers. Then if you come to the e-commerce part, as I have mentioned, that we have Tmall, Taobao, Lazada. Lazada is one of the biggest shopping e-commerce sites for Singapore. So if you see that all these things, even the cloud computing, these all things runs on the Alibaba databases. So now you can just imagine this is the fact which we run on our Alibaba databases. So if you see, this is the 7th slide. So when I say peak hours, so if you see, this is when I say peak hours, I mean if you see that November 11 at around when just when 1 minute started or 1 second start, the peak goes to the 122 times. So this is the traffic. If you compare this one, it goes to the 122 times. So it is like so you can say in a layman language, it is like a people at a beach looking at the calm sea with mild wave, and suddenly the wave becomes 100 meters high, which brings the ultimate challenge to our system: demand, extreme elasticity, extreme performance. And even under such tsunami, we need to ensure transparency to end users. That is the response time felt by consumer does not change. So like you can say, like when the load goes high, we want to make sure that the response time should remain same as it used to be. So if you see our progress, so peak. So if you see from the 2009, we have very less orders per second. That is 400 orders per second only. But if you see, it grows exponentially. So we have evolved our products. We have furnished our more databases, and in 2019 we reached up to this peak. So you can imagine the amount of orders per second which the database is handling. So this is the one. I will move to the next slide now. So again, this is what I have mentioned, that this is regarding the response time. What is the response time we got at the time of November 11th? So the response time goes up to more than, you can see, as I've mentioned before. So 1 millisecond just. So this is for every query you are receiving. So this is for the normalized TPS, and this is the response time. So coming on to all the database products which we have. So we call it APSARA DB. So I can say APSARA DB is an umbrella. So you can think of APSARA DB as an umbrella of all the database products which comes under the Alibaba. So it can be categorized into proprietary, I mean the one which is developed by Alibaba developer themselves, and one is third-party tools like the MySQL and the MariaDB. So I will start from the tools and the utility which we use. So if you go with the tools and utility horizontal section, so the first one is DTS, that is Database Transfer Services. So it is kind of migration purpose. So I don't know how much we are aware of the AWS. So they have the DMS tool. So if you compare DTS, so you can compare it with the DMS. So you can migrate your on-premise data or your other cloud vendor database to the Alibaba cloud databases. So like, for example, if you have MySQL on your on-prem, you can migrate to the Alibaba cloud using DTS. Apart from this, you can also use DTS for the synchronization purpose. So if you want to synchronize your data, or if you want to use the real-time replication, you can use DTS. Then we have Adam tool. Okay, so Adam is a tool, I can say. Basically, it is, I can say, for migration of the Oracle. Like let's say you are using Oracle on your on-prem and you want to move to the PolarDB, that is PolarDB of Alibaba, PolarDB MySQL version. So you need to use add. So apart from the migration part, what it do is that it generates the report. So by report I mean that. So let's think. So let's take an example. In an Oracle, we have a rank function which calculates the ranking of a particular order. So let's say in a class we have 4 students and they have scored different marks. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. So the rank function will give the ranking to these particular students. So, but this function is not available in the MySQL version or in the other databases. So if you will think, okay, that I need to migrate my application from Oracle to the MySQL, I can have these problems. So what Adam will do, it will generate a report which tells, okay, that we have these differences, and you can resolve it accordingly. So this is what Adam do. Then we have DMS. DMS is a database management services. So you can think it of a GUI tool which you can query your database, you can manage your database. So you can you can go for the security of your database. So let's say you want to create a customized approval process, you can use DMS. You want to use some kind of let's say recovery process, you can use DMS. So let's say someone have mistakenly updated some record and that needs to be recovered, you can use DMS. So this is few of the features. So DMS is very powerful tool, and I don't think so other vendors have this one. If you go for the DBS, so this DBS is a database backup services. So I can say so apart from the normal backups like physical and the logical backup, DBS can also do the incremental backups. So like let's say you have a backup of, so you are doing your daily backup around 2 a.m. and let's say after just backup, your completely server crashed, or let's say around 5 a.m. your server crashed. So what DBS do, it continuously taking your backup, like let's say after 2 a.m. also, it is archiving your backup in a Parquet file, which is a kind of columnar based file. So you can always have a high chances of your database availability. Then we have HDB. This is hybrid cloud database management. This is also one of the management tool which we have. Apart from this, we have one more tool which is not visible here. This is the DAS. We are working on this one. DAS is a database autonomy services. It's a kind of improvement to your databases, or which gives the hint to your database performance. So this is our tools and the utility. So now I come to the engine. So engine means we can go for the OLTP, we can go for the OLAP, we can go for the NoSQL. So if you talk about the OLTP databases, we have PolarDB. So PolarDB is an equivalent to you can think of Aurora database. I will give you I will give you the difference chart at the end of the slide. But
so Aurora is what Ankit is saying is in AWS. Aurora in AWS,
yeah,
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So PolarDB is a kind of shared database architecture in which we don't have the dedicated storage. We have completely shared database storage, which we call it as a Pangu file storage systems. So PolarDB works on the MySQL as well as Postgres, as well as Oracle. So this is our own proprietary products. Then we go for the AliSQL, also known as MySQL. So this is our products. So we have RDS in the PG, MariaDB, MS SQL Server, and the DRDS. And then we have OLAP. For the OLAP, we have ADB, Analytics Database. So you can compare it as a kind of Amazon Redshift database. So ADB we have in the MySQL, which has been designed for the OLAP purpose when you want to achieve the high concurrency rates, when you want to go for the high reads. Then we have Data Lake Analytics. So DLA is a tool, kind of Athena tool. You can think of AWS Athena. So DLA you can use for querying your raw data, or let's say you just want to query your CSV file, you can use Data Lake Analytics. Then we have TSDB, that is time series database graphs. So this is also one of the OLAP tool we have. Then moving next to the NoSQL. So in NoSQL, we have a graph database, which is our own. We have Redis database, that is also a NoSQL database. We have HBase here. And then we have MongoDB. So MongoDB is a little bit different from the other vendors. So how is it different is that we have the strategic partnership with MongoDB company. So what I mean by the strategic partnership is whenever MongoDB launch its any latest version, so the Alibaba will be the first cloud vendor on which MongoDB comes. So this is our whole set of database products we use, and according to the business, you can use all these tools. So let's move to the next slide here. So this is the general cloud studio architecture. So this is the main database architecture which we follow during the 11.11 festival. So you can see for here that we have different. So let's make it very simple. We use multi-master architecture. So you can have the same architecture as you can see in the East China, or let's say the same architecture in the Mumbai. You can have same architecture in the Delhi as well, or you can have same architecture in the Bangalore as well. So the data is getting written to the different nodes. Now questions comes to the DBA mind or to the developer mind. What about the consistency? So let's say I have write a single or a same record here, which gets replicated to here, and which is already existing here, and that will break the replication. I'm completely agree with this thought, but to break up this one, what we have done is that we have making sure that that these number of particular records should go only in the East India or in the East China, or let's say in the South China. So we have segregated the records. So the chances of the consistency is eliminated. So there's no sense that we will be having the chances of the inconsistent data or the duplicate data. And then let's go more deeper into this thing. So you can see we have the website page here. We have mobile app here. This is SLB, that is the load balancer part. So load balancer you can think of like, let's say one node or the one DB instance is having high CPU usage. So this load balancer will automatically detect, that I need to route my request to the different database instance. So this is how the load balancer works. So if you see about this application ECS, which is hosted on the ECS, so it first go on to the DRDS. So DRDS, so DRDS I have missed mentioning in the above slide. So DRDS is a kind of distributed. So D means distributed, and then R is relational data services. So distributed relational database services. So what I mean is that it shards. So sharding means like I'm dividing my data in the horizontal part. So I have divided my data into the different DB instances. So DRDS is based on the MySQL, which is segregating your based. Yeah. Am I audible? Okay, cool. So DRDS is a
you are.
distributed database services based on the MySQL and the PolarDB. So if you see here that we have DRDS, which is then going further to the PolarDB part. So PolarDB X is a next version which we have in the, but it is not in the market yet. Then we do use MySQL here. So then this data goes to the different you can say to the BI platforms. And the DTS, so we don't use the asynchronous classic file-based replication or the synchronous file-based replication. So once the data comes here in the database, we do migrate or we do replicate this data through the DTS tool, as I have mentioned. So you can see here, it says DTS bidirection synchronization to other region. So in this way, we are replicating our data from one region to other regions. So let's say in the East China, it is going into the South China in the same architecture. So the problem which we face in the asynchronous classic file-based replication has been eliminated. So it does not exist now. So this is how we are eliminating the problem of consistency and the replication delays. And the same goes to the other units as well. So you can think, now I have created the multi-master architecture where you are using the DTS tool, the DRDS, which is for the sharding purpose. And again, we are using PolarDB. So in the PolarDB, why I have mentioned here is that PolarDB, you can easily scale up or scale out your computational or the storage capacity. So this is the one which we follow in the cross-geo architecture for the 11.11 festival. So moving on to the next slide. So you can see here, this is the computation and storage decoupling elasticity. Okay, cool. So if you see in this slide, this is for the PolarDB to make you clear. The write nodes, the read nodes are different. So you can compare that the storage the storage unit is also different. So the storage unit and the computational unit is completely different here. And the Paxos is a kind. Okay, so what Paxos means is that Paxos makes you ensure that your database or your database should be in all database should be in the sync, and whatever your records you are inserting should properly reach to the read nodes. So for this, we are using Paxos algorithms. Paxos makes sure that the data should be consistent. So how it works? It works on the LSN, that is log sequence number. So log sequence number generates for every changes making to your database. So it makes sure that, okay, that once data gets written here, the log sequence number should be matched, and then it will return the data. So in other words, I can say, let's say I have a read request from any of these read nodes, and first I want to make sure whether my write record which I have inserted has been reached here or not. So the Paxos will make sure, okay, that this is how I am making consistencies through the LSN. So wherever the LSN of write node and the read node is same, I will return that particular record. So this is how we are maintaining the consistency here. Okay, so I can say here that in database cluster implementations, we can have multiple ways to make sure how different nodes will communicate with each other. We all know for small workloads, usually a MySQL or Postgres instance will do the work. In a single instance, DB engine is bound with some dedicated storage. So the data read and write can happen in the same locality, which means when workload is not big enough, single instance can handle your business very well. So this is the main, I can say, the advantages of having the decoupling for computation and the storage layer. So this is for the APSARA DB for RDS MySQL, which we use. So this slide shows the recommended architecture set up by using RDS service. So this is the just our advice which we follow. So if you see from technical point of view, please note here that the RDS MySQL, which I have mentioned here, equals Ali SQL. So it is same. So we have I can say we have modified the MySQL code, and we have optimized it. We have done various kind of regression testing, and then we have created a Ali SQL product. So you can see that we have segregated our read-write request here. So you can see our read-write request going into the masters, and there also in this layer we have the high availabilities. So this node will always be hidden. So this node goes down, this layer will take over. IP will remain same. So the application does not need to know, okay, that I need to change my IP. No, the slave will take over. And from here, the application works. So instead of using classic file-based application, we are using GTID-based application. So GTID is the one that is global transaction identifiers. It is much securer than the classic file-based application. So as this chart shows, RDS supports read-only instance and splitting address. Also, primary instance support HA mode with master and slave setup. So backup service is also embedded in RDS console. So you can see the backup service, this one, is embedded in the RDS console. So if you go
mode,
to the
I would say it's high
Alibaba
availability,
RDS
right?
console, you can, yeah, that's correct. It's high availability. So
just also, wanted to add that to the
apart
user.
from this,
That's what that they are. So HA is high availability, yeah. So it's always available most of the time. And another one is GTI, so it's a global transaction number. So it's automatically unique globally, right? And that's how it's easy to replicate.
Easy to replicate, and also there's no chances of the inconsistency of the data, which we see mainly in daily life.
Yeah.
So if you see, again, going back to the backup part, backup service is also embedded into the RDS console and can be selected and configured as an autonomic or the automatic services. Those backup files, including physical backup and the logical file and the logical backup as well. So this is the APSARA DB RDS for MySQL, which we suggest and we follow in our chapters. Moving to the next slide now. So this is the DTS architecture. So as I mentioned, DTS is for the migration part. I'm also planning, I have discussed with Anjani that I should go for the demo for the migration, like how you can migrate your database from your on-prem or to the cloud vendor to the Alibaba cloud vendors. So from OLTP to OLAP or from on-premise to cloud, data migration, full synchronization or incremental synchronization are often necessary. DTS also support ETL, so you can also go for the ETL and real-time subscription feature. So with what I just described now, Alibaba provides a full-stack solution from data production, consumption, store, analysis, the full life cycle of data management. So all in all, if you are using some classic database like Oracle, or so we suggest you to consider using Adam. So Adam is also one of the tools I have mentioned for migrating from the Oracle, and DTS to move it to your Polar DB. So once your data is in the cloud, you can have all the features of the Alibaba cloud. So that is more of the commercial. I will not go for the commercial part. So this is how DTS will work. So you can migrate from your MySQL to the RDS, then to the DB2 to the MongoDB and any of these databases which is here. So this is more insights. So as I mentioned, for the DMS, DMS is for the complete management services. You can design your queries, you can query your database, you can analyze, it can work as a DBA also, as I mentioned. Then it's a kind of complete DevOps tool. Then we have DTS, as I mentioned here. So you can migrate your databases like MySQL, SQL Server. So it gives more of your insights to any of these databases, maybe DRDS, RDS, PolarDB, MongoDB, and the GraphDB as well. Then DBS also, you can use database backup services, I have mentioned here. So it's a kind of more insights. So this is also we use in 11.11. Why I am mentioning here? Because this topic is related to the 11.11. And how we achieve all those numbers is through these tools. So this is how it becomes necessary to introduce you more towards these databases. So this is the final slide, I would say, from the comparison purpose. So if you will compare with the other databases, we have every tool. So we have a PolarDB as equivalent to the Amazon Aurora database, which is a kind of shared database architecture. We have ADB. ADB is the Redshift one. As I mentioned previously, if you're using Amazon Redshift, you can switch to ADB. And if you are DynamoDB, we have MongoDB, we have strategic partnership, as I have mentioned. Then we have data lake analytics tool which is equivalent to the Athena. We have S3 also, which is not mentioned here. S3 is just like, okay, so we have OSS, which is just like the S3 one. So you can store your data, throw your data, and save it there. And then we have DRDS. So no one have DRDS here. As I mentioned, DRDS is mainly for the sharding purpose for the MySQL, and then we have DTS for the migration purpose. So we all use these tools in our 11.11 festivals, which makes our database consistent. We achieve 87 billion requests per second using these tools. And this is more towards the commercial part, I can say. So you can see that Alibaba stands always in the challenging category. So if you see in the leaders, we have Amazon, we have Google, but from the stronger performance, Alibaba is also there. So this is from the database perspective. So I'm telling you from the DBAS service, that is database as a services. So this is all from my side, guys. I don't know how much I made you understand, but I've tried my best. And but if you do have any query as of now, please feel free to ask. I will be really happy. Yes, Anjani, over to you, please.
So adding to Ankit, I would like to add. So as Ankit was describing more about sharding and the read replica concept, and also about how you can manage the global level of transaction, transaction at the global level. So the main concept is around how you structure your data in the database. So it's like a Lego block. So if you want to create a copy of your Lego block, you will have to make sure that the whole copy is completely available in one of the zone, which he was talking about, and then the another copy or the part of the copy is available in another zone, and they both coordinate through a coordinator and then connect with it. So it's like, and then the another thing Ankit was describing about how the data is being written into a specific node and read from a different node. So it's more like a reservoir where you see that if an origin of a river is at some point all the water come into the reservoir, and then it is being served through different channel to different type of users. So maybe it can go for irrigation, maybe it can go for electricity development and something like that. So that concept is also being applied into the streaming system, or where the data actually exists, and where a lot of pressure of data is being coming from multiple streams, multiple channel, multiple data is coming up. So that is the core of the architecture that we need to understand when we define and derive anything around it. Obviously, it depends upon how the cloud provider, how the architect, how the solution architect, what their competency is and the team is and the support is to develop such a huge system that can handle such a huge load. So thank you, Ankit. And I'm opening up the channel for the question. A lot of chat messages are coming. So Atul has some question. Then very informative session, Bhaskar says. Then Atul has. I will open up the mic right away. So so Atul says, can you please tell us which services we can use right now for learning purpose with nominal charges? Yes, Ankit.
Okay, yeah. Can you please tell us which services we can use right now for learning purpose within nominal charges? Can you please tell us which services we can use right now
so
for learning
mostly,
purpose?
like, let's say if you need to start.
Yeah, please.
So he's saying that if you need to start on
So do
Alibaba
Atul
Cloud or
means
any database. Yeah, he just wanted to
yeah,
explore
okay.
one of the product on Alibaba Cloud. So which is the product which is available at the nominal service side? Like there are many products. Like last week we're talking about the big data system, Max Compute, And we saw that when you try to create most of your things, unless and until you're not productionalizing it, it is a very low cost. It's like a fraction of a dollar that comes up in almost 3-4 days at the volume that we play as a learner. So, but when you put at the production, obviously there is a different type of criteria that comes up. So, is there something similar to on the database side also, the way Alibaba has provided max compute platform for developers and the designer to work with? And once you productionalize, it's almost similar also in the data science area, the way the whole PI platform has been set up. So you can design everything, play with the data, play with max compute, and still there's almost a nominal charge. It's almost zero charge for the experimenter. But once you apply it on a channel or on a platform, like productionalize it, obviously then you have to subscribe for the services and the charges comes up. So how is it in this database arena for that, Ankit?
Okay, if Atul is audible to me, I don't know from which side Atul is. If Atul is from the database side, I can recommend Atul to go because first of all, the RDS console and the Alibaba RDS console is quite similar to the AWS. So I don't know because AWS is the more matured one, and so if you are already aware of the AWS, you don't need to learn a new thing. So you can just migrate here. So if you are using Aurora database, or if you are so you can come here for the Polar DB. I can share a link with you as of now also in the chat. So you can go for the Polar DB. You can go for the RDS MySQL, and if you want, like if Anjani is in contact with with our um, with our sales team, he can also provide you some kind of coupons. So coupons can be
We're
used
planning to share
for
coupons.
using for the so Atul, you can use coupons also, and you can explore all the products. You can go for the machine learnings also if you are interested. I'm not towards that side. So if you need from the database side, you can explore any of these products which I have mentioned. You can use the DTS, RDS MySQL, RDS PG, Polar DB also. So also one of the best tool we have is the DMS. So DMS is not provided by any of the cloud vendors. So DMS to be because I am a uh, okay. So because I am a DBA, so I will recommend you to go with the DBA part for the DMS. DMS will be really helpful. So Anjani, we can share. I can share the link here for the reading part, and then you can discuss with Steve or the sales team. They can provide the coupons to Atul.
Yeah, obviously.
Does that answer your
You can share
question?
the link.
Yeah, thanks, Ankit.
Yeah, so we have another question from Bhaskar.
Okay.
He says, how does Alibaba DB or APSARA support segregation and privacy of sensitive personal data like passwords, medical history, biometric, or financial information, etc.? Basically, how do we ensure that PII data remains segregated in the local country server? Is there a way to make such configuration? So it's a very nice question, Bhaskar, and it's a big concern for most of the solution architect and most of the client. That let's say I have to deploy everything in India, and I want to be pretty much sure that it's not copying up or backing up things beyond India. How does it make sure, and how does it ensures that the customer are also happy understanding it, and customer are confident that their data is as per in the regulatory bound of the country or the region?
Yeah, I too believe this is a very nice question. Even Bhaskar, this should come in mind. This should come in everyone's mind about the security of these data. So I do recommend because some of the customer has previously asked me about this same thing, this exactly same question, and we do have various confidential agreement with. And we have enlisted all our agreements and the points over the websites. So again, I will just after this, I will mention those agreements where we have provided the security, like how we are maintaining the security, how we are not taking the data from the outside of the India, or let's say outside of the home country. So I think that I can provide you also. When you say, is there a way to make such configurations? So do you mean that how can I do it myself, or how can I do it customized? Does it mean
So
like that?
yeah, so if I have a corporate account with Alibaba, right? So do the account admin, the corporate account admin has the has those
Yeah,
feature
basically,
available. Yeah,
my
master. Yeah.
question is, yeah, yeah, thanks Ankit for answering that. Basically, yeah, my question is like if I'm making some customizations while, solutioning the database architecture. So is there a way I can define some configurations? Let's say there are, 20 fields or 30 fields, out of which, let's say 5 or 6 fields are sensitive personal information. And I can decide based on some configuration that these are not to be stored anywhere outside the local country or home country server.
Okay, yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so there are two things. One is the masking of the data. Like you can mask the data. One is you are saying that my data should not be go to the other country. So one is the masking. So we have this DMS tool, Bhaskar. DMS tool will mask. So let's say you have a table, and in the table you have a column name. Let's say it is phone number of your customer, or let's say the account number of your customer. So, and obviously you don't want this to be displayed to any of the particular user on any of your, let's say, to the other country user. So what you will do at your own end, you will completely mask that particular data. So instead of showing or displaying that complete account number from the DMS console itself, you can mask that particular data. And apart from this, the question Jay, you asked me how you can how Alibaba is making ensure that the data should not move to the other country. I will share the links with you with the agreement, and I think that will really help.
Sure. Thanks, Ankit.
Any other question, mates? Anyone who would like to ask any question? Okay, I'm seeing there is no question on the streams also, so we can drop.
Hi,
Yeah, Mrityunjay.
hi, Ankit. I have a question. So I was just how does like analytics DB and then max compute related to each other, and how does it like what are the components I should take care of when I'm designing a big data solutions on Alibaba Cloud? Hello?
Hi, am I audible to you?
Yes, now it's, yeah.
So do you mean that what is the difference between ADB and the max compute?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to understand, what is the correlation between like max compute and ADB, and where I should use ADB and where I should use ADB, or I should use both of them in my big data solutions when I'm designing.
Okay, so what from my knowledge and from my understanding, max compute is basically the engine which you use when you want the recommendations. So let's say let's take an example of the website or the shopping website where you are shopping like hand sanitizer, and you are and you will get several options, but if you want also that your user should experience, and you should also experience the user's choice, and then it will make the recommendation, okay, that instead of going to the Dettol, you can use the Himalayas version. So when you want to go for the recommendation part, you will use the max compute. But when you go for the ADB, so in cases of the ADB, you will go when you want to achieve the high OLAP concurrent connection. So let's say you want to go, so you have a lot of read operations which cannot be accomplished in the OLTP, let's say in the OLTP or in the MySQL. So you will go for the ADB. So similarly, so if you want to go for the high concurrent quick response time, so let's say in such situations where I have mentioned about the shop table, where you are getting a lot of read requests. So let's say let's say complete Delhi is looking for the sanitizer. So there will be the high read request. So in these cases, you will use the ADB MySQL. But when you go for the max compute, you want to go for the, okay, but I need to make the recommendations to the user. You would go for the max compute. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I think it should be. So what I understand from it is like when we are going for a heavy compute kind of things, then we are using max compute to get the results faster. And if we
That's
are
right.
just going for a kind of a data warehousing kind of solution, then we are going to use ADB, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Okay. Thanks, Ankit. Yeah.
Any other question, team, or we'll wrap up the session? Okay, so yeah, thank you everyone for joining. This was really fantastic, Ankit. You came here, gave your time to the community, and definitely everyone is going to get a lot from it when they go from this session. Obviously, they will connect to Alibaba Cloud, experiment all the point that you have talked.
Yeah.
And Bhaskar is very
I want
productive
to,
and useful information. Yeah.
yeah, but I would like to give the Atul database link, which Atul can
Yeah. Ping him.
help. So yeah, I'm just thinking, Atul, just please be on the hold. So I will give Atul the complete document link from where he can start exploring other database products. And just a minute, please. Mhm. Okay, so I'm okay. Okay, so this one, Atul, you can go for this one. This is for the mainly RDS MySQL. I recommend you to explore more from this only. I have found for the RDS MySQL. From there, you can explore more of these versions, more of the tools which you want to use, and you can go for the coupons also if you want. Because I'm not from the sales team, I cannot answer for the sales part. Yes. So if you guys have any questions, then we can go further. Otherwise, we will wrap it up.
Yeah, I think we should wrap it up now. Thank everybody for joining. It was really nice and informative session, Ankit.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much, Anjani, for inviting me.
Yeah, thank and we'll,
Bye,
as Ankit
guys.
said,
Thanks for coming.
as Ankit said, we'll soon be putting another session for specifically for cloud migration. Thank you, everybody.
That's right. That's right.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.